Hey, what's going on everyone? Whelp and Web Snapper here. I'm excited to finally be bringing you guys the new and updated collection room tour and all the new displays I set up. So this has been a long time coming. As you know, I've been moving into my first house that I bought with me and my fiance, and it's been an awesome and just surreal experience. I've had just such an insane amount of space compared to what I've had in such a long time. So it's been awesome seeing all these figures out at once. So I'll go ahead and start walking you guys through everything that we got up. And this will be broken up into two parts as the basement's kind of has two separate spaces. And so I kind of paced myself through kind of like setting up this is like my Marvel area, as that's like the majority of my collection, and then everything else will be in the other space. Okay, so we'll start over here. This is the Fantastic Four display. So that's pretty cool. I definitely want to get that like 3D printed Fantastic car that I've been seeing going around. I think that would look really sick here. And then I'll point out if certain displays aren't like finalized. This one obviously isn't, but still, it looks good enough to show off to YouTube. Then of course we'll move over to the X-Men. I got some more figures that I really want to add to this shelf. I got one coming in the mail here pretty soon. Bishop, so that's good. So I'll redo this once I get a few more characters. So we'll go down. There's a little stand connected to the wall there to hold up Jean. And I got this 3D printed sign from my fiance for Christmas. And I love those. I'm trying to get them all for all my permanent display shelves. You can also, that's what this is here as well. These were from Etsy. So I like how that looks like it's like floating. Yeah, that's pretty sick. You can see some of this fell here, but it looks pretty cool, like she's teleporting in. And of course, the famous Avengers display. We'll start up here with the Wasp. Giant Man. Still haven't gotten the straight forward facing eyes. They said mid-December, so if anyone knows what's up with that, let me know. Yeah. Again, this came out really well. I'm using a Mezco stand. Command stripped it to the wall. Nothing new really there. I don't love how it's like black, black, black with the costumes, but I still like their placements. I don't know if I can do anything about that. Nothing new on the Thor front, Iron Man, but I did get the new Secret Wars Captain America, so I plopped that head on him and it works great. I think that's where Marvel Legends typically tend to shine, is through their head sculpts, because they can reuse the bodies for a bunch of characters, but not so much the head. So you mix the head with the Mafex body, and you got a really good looking figure. Not that the other Mafex head is bad. It's just, it's nice to also have different options there. So yeah, nothing new. This shelf's pretty complete. I got Giant Man into a better pose. Yeah. So yeah, I really love this shelf. That's definitely a great place to be with that. Then we got the Marvel Knights shelf. This is new, and I finally got all the characters I wanted on this shelf. And yeah, it feels really good to have everybody out. I know I'm missing Blade, obviously. My buddy was borrowing it for quite some time, so I'm about to get that back and add him up here. But yeah, we'll start up at the top as per usual, work our way down. Really love that Wong figure. It's so good to have him finally. And of course, we got the Mafex SpiderMan in the middle with a custom head by Farul Store on Instagram. And we got the CT Toys Miles. Electro's utilizing a wall stand that I have command strip there. And I kit bashed some accessories for Ghost Rider because I didn't have a whip or like a chain whip thing. So just to make him a little bit more interesting. And then I actually ended up super gluing the moon darts or crescent darts into his fist because they always fall out, and I really wanted to utilize it. Of course, the goated Mafex Daredevil. We got the Heroes for Hire and Black Cat, which I don't love that figure, but it is the only functioning Black Cat I have. And I wanted to have her up on the shelf. And then the last thing I'll note is I put Damien Hellstorm like coming up out of the fire. That's the Phoenix base. So yeah, that looks really sick. And I'm really happy with this shelf as well. So hopefully we continue to get more street level vigilante characters. So I can keep rounding that out. It's probably easily my favorite group of characters. And then here's my corner display where I just have my favorite teams and alternate lineups from the comics. Obviously, Heroic Age, I'm a big Bendis fan, so I gotta have his Heroic Age Avengers, Heroic Age New Avengers, which these haven't been set up. It's just kind of when I get to it, and obviously it's been a lot of work setting all this other stuff up. And then we have the original New Avengers, which, gosh, we need a new Ronin, but this is pretty well set up. Got that new Wolverine, which is really good. And then we got Mighty Avengers, which I'm missing some characters because I'd have to buy duplicates. Like I need Wonder Man, and I don't want to. You know, there's some other things I'd rather buy, but looks good. And this doesn't look so great, but it's the Dark Avengers. I'll have to reset this up and make it look really dynamic with that new Ms. Marvel. But yeah, again, I got this guy for Christmas. I'm really glad to have him. Yeah. So that's at the bottom. We'll move over here. Got this windowsill display. Try to keep these looking clean and more museum-like. So usually he stands up a little forward. I like having just like a normal profile Spider-Man in peak condition. This is the reissue. Let's see, the lighting's making this weird. So you can see he's got the more like metallic blue. So he stands there. Kind of just a nice normal 3D representation of Spidey. I love this era of the Avengers. It kind of like, you know, kind of goes with that. Okay, then we'll start down here. This is my X-Men villain shelf. I really like how this came out as well, but there's tons of holes that I'm missing, like Quicksilver, Mr. Sinister. I mean, there's just a ton. And so I'm going to be hunting them down now that I have space to display them. And oh man, this figure is just so cool. I got this for Christmas as well, and man, it is just, it's got such a presence, especially if you throw this behind her. And then hopefully I'll be replacing this with a Mafex sometime soon because I'm done with that figure. It's just a little boring. We'll move up to the Spider-Man villain shelf / space because there's a lot of figures not even touching this shelf. So we'll go ahead and start from the top over here and work our way around. There's Hobgoblin. More one. Actually, and then, oh, this little shock effect or pounding effect is from the Thing, the Mezco Fantastic Four thing. And we got a wired cape on Mysterio, and that's a Mezco Doctor Strange effect. So I'm only going to point out the changes that I've done, any alterations, just so you guys are aware in case you don't know. Again, that's the Mezco Green Goblin, so anything not Marvel Legends I'll point out. That's the Mafex Venom, and these are custom tentacles that I made for my Doc Ock, which I think improves the figure just significantly. Jackal. I try to keep when I set this shelf up, I wanted everybody, the more prominent of a villain they were, the more middle I put them. Now, obviously, Shocker, that doesn't necessarily mean Shocker's more of a villain than Lizard. It's just kind of he fit there. He could take up that space. But generally speaking, I like to put the Spider-Man's greatest villains in the middle. Silver Sable and Hammerhead and Rose. So yeah, really happy with how this came out. Then we'll move over. We got the Vulture here, and then here's the Ultimate Vulture. So that means we're at the Ultimate Spider-Man tribute shelf, which I'm still missing Ultimate Spider-Man, but I'm waiting for that third-party group to release him. Here's the Ultimate 6 with Ultimate Beetle. That's obviously an Iceman, but he looks like Electro to me. And Nick Fury, and then my customs. And I saw some concept art from like Mark Bagley's sketchbook. And he looked really like the MCU Doctor Strange, and some concept art for the comic. So he got put up there to round out the shelf a bit. And the West Coast shelf, which I did get this for Christmas as well. And it really does just bring this display together. I made that wired cape. For better or worse. And that is a Bruce Banner head, MC Bruce Banner on the Wonder Man body, since I used the actual Wonder Man head that came with this figure on the other body. So that's my West Coasts. And some more statues, cool comic books, such like that. Then we'll move over to the Masters of Evil shelf. Now, maybe all these guys haven't been on the Masters of Evil exactly, but generally speaking, yeah, this is a Masters of Evil shelf. And so some of these characters don't have their capes. That's because I'm going to make or buy wired capes. But I really love how this shelf came out. And this was such a great figure to have, to be able to add to the Masters of Evil. So really hoping we get I can get my hands on another Wrecking Crew member to put there. And then just bought these two legs to finish my Absorbing Man. Great price on eBay. Probably like $4 for them both. So yeah, easy buy. And then from the Secret Wars Captain America, I just threw the shield there just to, give them a more victorious feel, since we often see them lose. Yeah, from afar, that looks just so good. And the one thing I try to do with my villains is I'll put the leader in the back, because I think it's an interesting kind of perspective that the villains' leaders are usually cowardly and would rather submit. It's all for one, kind of in like the My Hero, so it's everybody's for the one guy, whereas like with my Avengers, Cap's leading the front, and so he's one for all. More heroic. So you'll see that trend kind of continue through the super villains, where this is like your big bad guys that are usually fight by themselves or a threat even on themselves. These are just my Marvel Universe villains. Again, would like to expand on it, but man, there's like no room to put more on. I actually had to cut some guys out. So we'll start over here with the Super Adaptoid, Taskmaster with the custom cape. Again, I made that. Hydra soldiers, gotta have the thugs that get beat up by them. Threw in Ironmonger just because he's a very iconic Iron Man villain and probably will eventually be replaced by the Mandarin. Gotta have the Skrull Queen, Secret Invasion representation there. Odok. Dormammu, Ultron. So what I really like that I did here is you have like their first villain, right? The Avengers' first villain was Loki, and then the another huge event would be like the Infinity Gauntlet, and then you got Secret Wars, the original. Of course, you had Kang, and then Doom, the ultimate supervillain, is back there. Above all, I just feel like that just perfectly encapsulates the Marvel supervillains. As much as I could fit up there. So I'm gonna eventually maybe try and see if I can fit any but more people up there, but really I just want it to look good. I don't need it to be full. And so that's kind of a challenge. So this is like my supervillain side. Obviously excluding the SpiderMan and XMen villains, because they have their own kind of space category. And of course, we got the display, the Galactus Display cube. Here, I don't want to plug in, but we might as well do that. So you just plug it in there. There we go. Turn it on. Let's see, is this going to turn on? Boom, yeah, sweet. A little dusty, but I decided I don't want to go too crazy with this display, and just kind of let the figure speak volumes, and he fell, but whatever. Yeah. He blends in really well. But anyway, yeah, it's cool. Again, for those of you who don't know, I made this. There's a video on how I made this on my channel early on. You should check it out if you guys have a Galactus and you don't know what to do with it. So put that off. Move over. Some other stuff I put up. This is the DC section. So we got the Alex Ross picture and a sick Hush poster there. So we'll start up at the top where we do DC. And there's a lot of placeholder figures in here. But start here in the front. Hush Batman, super awesome. Revoltech Flash. And then you got Hal Jordan, some creating the grappling gun or machine gun. That's from a 6 or 7 pack with very non-articulated figures, which you'll see. I think there's Hawkman. He wasn't part of it, but he's part of that line. A McFarlane, John Stewart, which personally I don't collect McFarlane figures, but my brother had it and it was just in storage. So I went ahead, grabbed him out, threw him up. I'm trying to hide the scale. Revoltech Wonder Woman, Nightwing, and then another out of scale 7-inch like limited articulation like him. That's the my Green Arrow for now. And this is cool. I hope you guys can appreciate this. This is the movie Mafex Aquaman, but I took the head off and threw a Hank Pym head onto it, and that looks perfect. And my brother also had a movie Aquaman shark. And so I tied some wire around it, made it look like he's surfing it, and that just looks so cool. Like, I love seeing, oh, that's so cool. And then I did a similar thing here with the Shazam movie figure. Sorry for the shadow. I threw a Wonder Man head on him, and we got a cool Mafex comic, Shazam. And hopefully that looks like him kind of like yelling Shazam and being turned into the adult version. And then I just threw Cyborg there. I mean, he can't do much, so. Moving down to, let's see if we can just open this real quick so there's no glare. Yep. This is the DC villain shelf. Nothing to really say here. Just continuing to build this out. And then, I love this Batman and Robin. It's all over there. Really just some fallen figures, things I just wasn't really, I'm going to change out eventually, so nothing to really see. And then here's my Transformers setup. This has been a new venture. Really enjoyed getting into the Transformers. I always have loved them, just didn't know which line to collect. It's a different market than your basic Marvel figures. There's tons of different options, different ways to collect. So I landed on the most expensive one, Masterpiece. Of course, right? These are really fun, and got a lot more on the way. So this display will grow. Had to make sure I got Optimus in that pose. He's using a Mezco stand, for those of you wondering. And then, of course, here is the my Raimi shelf. A lot of figures fell, but just a bunch of different my Raimi merchandise. As that movie's just captures a large part of me. And then the Black Series Boba Fett helmet, which is so sick because it has the insides detailed. You can see the insides of like what his helmet looked like on the inside. So when I feel like getting that out and showing y'all, if you're interested, let me know. Over here, just miscellaneous items. These are my Transformers books, which is awesome. This is the, oh gosh, why am I drawing a blank? Skybound, that's what it is. Batman statue. my Optimus Prime model kit I bought a while ago. Some of my DC comics. And then I took the head off of that symbiote Spider-Man to work with my Mafex. It's just some Boba Fett things, because this is where I'll put my Star Wars stuff eventually. That's the Mafex Boba Fett, and then my favorite one. So out of the box here. Come on, focus. Yeah. Sick. So, yep, this is the whole space. It's my desk and office. We'll go over here. I just want to show off some other items on the Secret Invasion signed by Bendis, and I believe that's the inker, Mark Morales. My buddy got me this for Christmas. It's one of those limited series things. It's so cool. I don't know what it's called exactly, but man, I've been wanting it, and it's super cool. Of course, a nice centerpiece is Amazing Spider-Man 700 signed by Stan Lee with certificate of authenticity, if that means anything. Who knows? Then an actual graded comic. This is the 104 Bagley and Bendis comic. Then just tons of comic books. That's my Spider-Man shelf. So all of it's just pure Spider-Man, and then we go here and I organize my comics. This is like main Marvel event / Avengers comics, and then I alphabetize, so this goes from like A to Z. So I think this starts with A through J, and then M through Z. And then this is another cool comic I found at Half Price Books for like 25 bucks. Cover signed by David Finch, the artist. So that's super sick. Those Scott McFarlane statues. So yeah, glad I could show you guys this stuff. Again, I'm super proud to be here. Worked really hard, and it's finally paying off, and it's awesome to be able to see all of this stuff. So I'm thinking the Star Wars stuff will go over here. Got a little bit of that wall. I guess I also put up this here on the wall. This was at the Dollar General, Dollar Store, but it was 15, so maybe Dollar General, but still, it's so sick. My fiance picked that out and said, "Hey, look, Mark Bagley," so she knew I had to have it. So yeah, this is where we're at. Really looking forward to continue building here. This has been a very rewarding experience to have all this space, and I'm super grateful, not just to my life, but for you guys as well for watching and letting me share this with you and being a part of this journey. I hope you guys enjoyed and are looking forward to this new content, this new space to do really cool things with. So yeah, we'll stay tuned and keep collecting, and I'll see you guys in the next video.